What is up, everybody? Alicia here. Welcome back to my channel. Appalachian Trail 2022. That's why we're all here. My start date is this freaking month. Can you believe it? I have been planning this trip since September of 2020, and I can officially say that I'm hiking the Appalachian Trail starting this month. I've had a lot of people ask me how I'm feeling. Am I ready? Do I have everything I need? So I figured I would hop on here, do a quick update, like pre-hike video, and go over a couple quick questions that I had received in a Q&A format. Try not to ramble or bore you too much. I know these talking videos are kind of not as fun to watch, but you know, if anyone's interested in hearing what some of these questions are, I will do like a little in the description breakdown of what the questions are, so you can skip around to different timestamps if you don't want to watch the whole thing. So let's just start. A lot of people again are asking me how I'm feeling, and I am like a crazy bundle of emotions. One second I am super excited, the next I don't want to say terrified, but like just so scared of the unknown. And then I go back to being excited again, and nervous and anxious. Literally every emotion that you can think of, every adjective you can think of as far as emotions go, I have felt at some point, probably within the last week. And the closer and closer my start date gets, those emotions are just going to be like amplified even more. I think everything sort of started to hit me a lot more deeply after I put in my resignation notice at work. So like everybody officially knows now, and like I can actually allow myself to be excited about it. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling. I do have everything that I need. If you haven't watched my full gear video, go back and watch that. It was published last weekend, and I just do a quick rundown of every piece of gear that I'm bringing with me on the trail. I will say I titled that video as like, yes, this is definitely my final gear list, but I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I've added a couple things since that video. I don't know what my problem is. I mean, anyone who likes gear and all that stuff, you probably can relate. But I've added just a couple small things here and there that people have recommended in the comments, and that I think will be really helpful to have. So just super tiny things that I don't even think are worth mentioning or making a total separate video about. But you can check out my pack stack link in the description of the gear video, and you can see every single thing I'm bringing. All right, real quick before I jump into a Q&A format, I just wanted to go over what my posting schedule is going to be like for the month of February and March. So after today's video, today is Sunday, February 6th. After today's video, I'm going to skip a week. You'll see another video from me on February 20th. I'm going to skip another week, and then you'll start seeing on-trail videos of my AT journey somewhat towards, I think, the end of February, beginning of March it is. I forget what the exact date is, but once those trail videos start, I'm going to be posting twice a week is the plan. I'm still kind of going back and forth between do I want to do a daily video or just twice a week, but I'm leaning towards probably twice a week. So you'll likely see videos every Thursday and Sunday once I hit trail. So yeah, that's the plan. All right, now I'm just gonna pop in and answer a couple quick questions that I got. All right, so the first question, someone asked me what I'm gonna be taking as my guilty pleasure item that is worth the extra weight. And if you watched my gear video, you know that I had quite a few, probably what people would consider luxury items. And I don't know that it's like a guilty pleasure item, but my town romper is probably the thing that I would say is worth the weight to me that a lot of people would probably disagree with. I just want to have something that's my own and dedicated to towns to kind of, you know, separate the trail and my town days. Next question, someone asked how long I've been saving for this hike. So I would recommend going back and watching my video all about my savings plan for this journey. But I have been saving since September 2020 when I first decided to do this. It's like about a year and a half. And that financial video goes over how much I'm saving, what I'm saving for, how I'm saving, and all that good stuff. I did bump up my monthly on-trail costs from talking in that video. I mentioned $1,000 a month on average for on-trail costs, and I bumped that up, you know, since prices have gone up, you know, sort of nationwide, worldwide. I bumped that up to save for about $1,250 to $1,500 a month for on-trail expenses. Next question is, how often will I need a 0 day? So that I'm not really planning a whole lot. I'm just going to kind of let my body tell me when I need a 0 day. If I had to guess, I would say probably one every 1 to 2 weeks. Probably more in the beginning of my hike as my body gets used to hiking that many miles on consecutive days, and just because of unpredictable weather that might force me off trail for a couple days. You know, at a time or whatever, if it's super cold or a big snowstorm comes in. So just going to play that by ear. Next question is, are you quitting your job or taking a leave of absence? So I did allude to that at the beginning of this video. I did put in my resignation notice to my job a few weeks ago. The reason I didn't do a leave of absence is because I wasn't even sure if that would be approved or not in the first place. And secondly, I don't really know what my life will bring or look like after I'm done trail. So I didn't want to have any obligations to go back or let them down if I did decide not to go back had they accepted a leave of absence request. So I'm just going to figure it all out, you know, towards the end of my hike, what I want to do, and go from there. All right, next question is asking about what my goals are for the AT, kind of both mentally and physically. What do I want to achieve by completing such a demanding journey? So being a 36 going on 37-year-old woman, especially if you're a woman, you know that our bodies change quite a bit as we get older. I'm not the same body or person mentally that I was when I was 25. I want to prove to myself that despite the changes that my body has gone through, that it's still capable of doing these crazy physical things, and that it's capable of still doing hard things. You know, I day hike a lot, and, you know, I've done long miles here and there, but I've never taken on anything quite this demanding. And being able to do it will mean a lot to me and sort of reinvigorate me as far as, you know, being a little bit in my feels about getting older and just changing physically. As far as my goal mentally, I just want to gain a lot of clarity about my life, the things that have brought me to where I am today, what I want for my life moving forward in the future. And I think having over 2,000 miles to walk and do a lot of self-reflection and learning about myself will help me with that. Also, the whole girl power aspect, I kind of want to be an example, not only to myself, but to my subscribers, friends, family, anyone who is sort of uncertain about a female doing something like this solo. You know, I want to demonstrate that there's no reason a woman shouldn't or couldn't do something like this. Yes, there are different things that women have to be aware of when taking on such a task, but that's not to say that we can't do it. We just have to change the way that we think about things and prepare for things, and, you know, doing something like this might even change your perspective. And I know that there's probably people out there watching that have young daughters, and I know when I was young, I can't really remember specifically that I had any like exposure to this type of thing to show that women are capable of doing something like this. So I'm hoping to be somewhat of an example, not only to my grown friends, family, and followers, but potentially also their young daughters. All right, so the next question is about the C word that I will not name, that we've been dealing with for the last couple of years in the world. So the question is, will that be much of a concern while I'm out on trail and encountering other hikers or other people in general? So the answer to that is yes, that's always a concern of mine. I'm not looking to start a debate or anything, just putting my thoughts out there. But if you know me, you know that I've been a very C-word conscious person for these last 2 years. And I think that's just because I am a scientist and I work in healthcare. So that's just something that I'm very much aware of, both not only for me, but for everyone around me. So I've been a very careful person. I'm triple vaccinated, and knock on wood, I have not, to my knowledge, contracted the virus yet. So I'm hoping that that holds true and I don't get it on trail, because that would not be very fun at all. So I'm going to just try to be very careful and mitigate my risk as much as possible. You know, being out on trail and in close quarters with a lot of other people, potentially a lot of people that have differing views than me, which is fine. I mean, the way I look at it is, if you're out hiking and engaging in pretty intense physical activity, I would hope that you're not sick. I would probably guess that you're not sick. You know, there's always a chance, but I just really hope that everyone that's on trail is respectful of each other and, you know, just really worries about each other's well-beings. And I think that really is the case with the trail community. You know, on online forums and everything like that, it probably appears differently, but I think out on trail, people really look out for one another. So I hope that applies to illnesses as well. So with that being said, I'm actually probably a little bit more concerned about norovirus than I am about the C word. A couple months ago, I was probably a little bit more concerned about the C word than I am now, because of the variant that was rampant at the time, but that's sort of on the downward trend, it seems like. So norovirus is a bigger concern of mine, just because that's spread through like sharing and touching the same things as other people, and no one really wants to have to deal with norovirus out in the wilderness. But I am just going to try to mitigate both of those as much as I can. So that means wearing my mask when I am in towns and in close quarters with other people, potentially in hostels and hotels as well. I mean, we'll see. It depends on the situation or how I'm feeling at the time. But definitely like in towns and stores and shuttles and places like that, I will be wearing my mask. And as far as norovirus goes, I am bringing my own Sharpie and own pen so that I don't have to share a Sharpie or pen with other people that have touched it, like in trail registers or signing logbooks or something like that. I'll have my own. That way I'm not touching something that a ton of other people have touched, because I think that's one of the common ways norovirus spreads. So yeah, just going to try to be really conscious about both things. Next question is asking about my food, how much that will add. I also had a second question related to food, asking if there was any must-have food that I plan to bring along. So I'm anticipating my food, water, and fuel will probably add anywhere between 10 and 15 pounds to my pack, depending on how long of a food carry I have to have. So my base weight is just under 20 pounds at the moment, and that's with my winter gear. So my pack can only hold about 35 pounds comfortably, so I don't want to go over that, but I'm hoping to be somewhere closer to 30 or under if possible, with food added. And then one food that I'm going to be is a must-have for me are Haribo twin snakes. So a lot of people, you know, have the Haribo gummy bears, but the Haribo twin snakes, that's where it's at. Those are delicious. They're like the perfect mix of sour and sweet, and they're just so good. I love taking them hiking, and I'm definitely going to always have a pack in my pack as long as I can find them in a store. Next person asked if I've ever hiked with my dogs and how I feel about dogs hiking the AT. So yes, I have hiked with my dogs. They've actually done a couple of 14ers out in Colorado with us when they were younger. They love to hike, and I wish that we could take them more. However, both of them have medical issues. One has a pacemaker and just gets tired very quickly, and the other is sort of recently diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder that she can't have vaccinations anymore. So like she doesn't have an updated rabies or Lyme or leptospirosis vaccination, which is kind of a concern, you know, taking her out hiking. So we try to be careful and just take her on short hikes if we take her, but definitely not something like the Appalachian Trail. And I think dogs hiking the AT is great. You know, if you know your dog and you think that they're capable of taking on such a challenge, you know, day after day, by all means go for it. You know, obviously you have to be prepared to carry the extra gear for your dog. And I think one thing that's important to note is that people have to remember, if you're taking your dog hiking, that you need to be prepared to be able to carry them out if they get injured and are unable to walk. Speaking of my dogs. So I know a lot of people, especially with bigger dogs, don't even take that into account, that there's a potential that their dog is unable to hike out or continue on walking if they get injured. So that's something to consider. You know, a long hike especially. I know there's a lot more road crossings, but sometimes you do have long treks out to the closest road. So take that into consideration. Next question, not super hiking related, but sort of, because it kind of goes hand in hand, is what's my favorite brand of beer? So I love Dogfish Head Sea Quench. That's usually my go-to when I go to the store for beer. I'm a big sour beer fan, Goes, Berliner Weiss, but I like to try a lot of different beer. I lived in Colorado for quite a while, so you know that's a big place for a lot of microbreweries. So I am always up for trying different breweries and checking out their types of beer. Someone asked if I am worried about my toenails falling off, and I mean, I guess I've struggled with that with my skiing boots in the past, but I'm more so worried about blisters. My feet, for some reason, are more prone to blisters than the normal person. So just in general, I'm going to be practicing a lot of foot care to avoid any foot issues, such as toenails falling off or blisters. All right, someone else asked if I carry an entire roll of toilet paper. So this is a good question, and I would actually like some feedback from people watching the video, what you think about this. So my plan was to only carry about a half a roll of toilet paper at a time, just because of the space that it takes up. I do have a bidet attachment. Hello, Jovi. I do have a bidet attachment that I'm going to be bringing, so I will have that, and I've got my Coola cloth to clean up you know, for when I pee. But I'm curious what other people bring. How much toilet paper do you bring when you're backpacking? Is a half a roll enough? Should I be bringing a full roll? Should I be bringing less? I just don't really know what's like the norm. So feel free to drop a comment and let me know your thoughts on toilet paper. All right, so that's really it for my video today, guys. Hopefully you stuck around and watched the whole thing. I'm gonna go hang out with my dogs for the rest of the day. I don't have much time left with them, so I want to enjoy my time with them as much as I can. So feel free to drop any comments. If you're hiking the trail this year, how are you feeling? Are you excited? Are you nervous? What's going on in that brain? I'd love to hear it. So looking forward to seeing everyone out there. I'm super pumped to hit the trail. Again, remember, don't expect another video from me until February 20th. And then after that video, you should start seeing my trail videos, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. So everyone enjoy your week, and maybe I'll see some of you out there. All right, bye.